Angela Mckay. I'm an illustrator and surface pattern designer currently based in Western Australia. I'm known for my watercolor and gouache illustrations, mainly depicting scenes of nature, animals and places that I visited on my travels. During this COVID period, to help me stay sane, I've started growing a flower garden. I've lived in apartments pretty much my whole life, so I'm taking the opportunity of being somewhere with some outside garden space to teach myself some new skills and grow some beautiful flowers. I'm really excited to partner with Nespresso Editions and to give you an insight into my painting process. I find painting to be a great stress reliever and it really gets me out of my everyday, especially at this busy time of year. I hope after watching this video you will be inspired to colour in the illustrations I have created, hopefully bringing some joy to your day. For this Nespresso Editions, I'll be creating 3 illustrations based on 3 different locations in which Nespresso source their coffee. The source of inspiration for my first illustration are the beautiful Aguadas Mountains in Colombia, where many of the coffee plantations are located. Nespresso have partnered with organisations such as the Rainforest Alliance and Fair Trade to help protect and promote local Colombian growers. These initiatives ensure the growers lead more stable and prosperous lives, whilst also contributing to a more sustainable future. Be sure to check out the other Nespresso editions to keep you inspired while we're all staying home. So before I sit down and start a painting, I like to make sure that my desk is relatively tidy. I have my paper to paint on, I have my paint and my brushes, and most importantly, I have my coffee ready to go. I put a podcast on and off I go. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to mix a few colours, and what I like to do is put all my similar colours onto the same palette. I just find it's easier for mixing different colours together and achieving the different colours I want. So let's go ahead and squeeze out some different greens. We've got olive green. This is permanent green. This is quite a nice colour. This is linden green. And I can put a nice primary yellow on there as well. We can put a little blue on there. My preference for paint is, actually let's put this one. My preference for paint is Winsor & Newton. I like the consistency of the paint. I just think it's really lovely and smooth and always gives you a really nice result. Okay, so let's try, oh actually let's put a bit of this on there too. Oh, and a little white. The way that I'm putting together this color palette is by looking at the images that I was given from Nespresso, and also some of the images that I found online, and I just find the sort of general colors. So this is a painting of Colombia, so it's going to be really vibrant with lots of greens and nice proppy pinks and reds, so I'm going to try and stay true to that palette. This is a flesh tint color, which is quite nice. I might use it for the sky or something like that. Then we have a primary red, which looks a little more a little more pink when it's mixed with white. And then we have some white and also some of this Rouge Sans cadmium free red. Okay, let's see what this color creates. I'm looking for a nice poppy red for the coffee beans. So let's try this one. Yeah, that's really nice. I like that. And then obviously something a little more muted for some of the other parts in the painting. So here we have the basic color palette that I think I'm going to use. I'm going to try and stick to these types of colors. Let's see how we go. Yeah, all right, let's get started. As you can see, I've already sketched out a design. I'm going to go over the top with a kneadable eraser just to soften some of these pencil lines. I generally just roll it over the sketch like this. Just makes it a little less strong when I'm painting over the top of it, but you can still see the faint outlines. Okay, and then from there, the next thing I like to do is I'm going to get a big soft brush and I'm just going to go over the top with some light washes of color, just so that my canvas is not white, completely stark white. So now I'm just going to go in and start painting in all the elements. So let's do it. I've always painted and drawn ever since I was a little kid. I had a sketchbook and I used to draw things that that would come out of my imagination. So yeah, it's just something that's been with me my whole life and something that I've always been interested in. So I feel like it just made sense for me to do it. For me, drawing is a form of escapism. I feel like when I'm drawing and painting, I'm able to focus on something else completely different for a while. It's a great stress reliever, as I mentioned earlier, and it's also really fun. It's something I just enjoy doing. So I usually like to travel, and I love painting what I see when I'm away. I find that really inspiring, but because now obviously no one's traveling, I've been going back into my old photographs of places that I've been and revisiting and rediscovering, and I've found some wonderful inspiration from those old photographs. I think for me, I like drawing trees and plants and animals. I don't really know why. Probably because when you look at them, it makes you feel nice and calm. So I think that's probably my favorite thing. I notice especially when I'm living in the city, like when I was living in New York, I would be painting trees probably because I missed seeing them so much. So the 3 illustrations that I'm creating for Nespresso, they're based on 3 different countries that Nespresso source their coffee beans from. And the first one I'm doing, the one I'm doing right now, is based on Colombia. And Nespresso have been really cool and told me all about the positive programs that they have with their coffee growers. Really ethically sound and environmentally friendly. So it's great to be a part of a project that is supporting local people and helping them to run better businesses and more successful businesses. Yeah. The inspiration for this composition came from images that were shared with me from Nespresso of the growers and the farms in Colombia. They're surrounded by beautiful lush vegetation in the mountains, and it was really inspiring to see, and I'm glad to be able to include some of that in this illustration. So at the moment, I'm just filling in some of the lighter spaces in the background. Adding some darkness will help to ground the illustration and give it a little more contrast. And now I'll add some shadows to the mountains. Just going to do this quite roughly. I find doing it quickly seems to work best for me. If I overthink it, can look a little overworked. So now I'm painting in the palm tree in the background. Just going to block in the back colour, and then I'll add the colour for the leaves and the detail on the top. So the brushes that I'm using are mostly Princeton round brushes. I like them in size 2, size 4 and size 0. I find that these sizes are the best for my work. I also have a bunch of watercolor brushes as well, which are really nice for doing washes and that kind of thing. So now I'm going to go into these large blank parts that I've painted just with a pencil. This one is a Prismacolor dark green. I'm going to use dark green on that one, and then maybe like a nice blue tone for this one. Sometimes I just like mixing it up. I'm adding some pencil in. You don't need to. Paint is always good too. I think I might go back into the artwork and just do some little pencil details here and there. sometimes it's nice just to add some extra highlights and things with a different texture. So the last thing I'm going to paint now is the house. I'll just block in the colors and then do the details. Follow along. So I'm pretty happy with where things are at right now in this illustration. I will probably wrap up, and what I do next is I scan it in, and then I just do a few quick edits in Photoshop. So maybe just some color correction and maybe fixing up a few little bits here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint, and it's been awesome. And yes, please check out Nespresso Editions for more information and more classes. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed a look into my process.